Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Have you gone down the rabbit hole of hydrogen water, alkaline water, reverse osmosis? Then there are the green drinks. There are all these supplements because we're in this toxic world and we're just trying to crawl out, right? But there are so many gimmicks out there. We don't know what we're getting sold. Amazon is selling fake supplements, all of this stuff, and we're wasting our money. We just want to live our lives well. I am super excited about our guest today. Welcome to Accelerated Health with Sara Banta, where I cut through the noise and fast track your journey to better health. I'm your host, CEO, and founder of Accelerated Health Products and certified by the National Association of Nutritional Professionals. And I'm here to share the latest on supplements, wellness hacks, and natural health solutions that actually work. Boosting energy, detoxing, balancing hormones, and everything in between. So let's dive in. I've got one of my favorite human beings here, Dr. Howard Cohn. He's the CEO and founder of the Cohn Health Institute, which is in my backyard. I'm so lucky. At the Cohn Health Institute, he has treated over 50,000 patients, trained more than 50 associated doctors who are also amazing, and taught over 1,500 health education classes. But more than that, he's a friend, he's a mentor, he's a guru, and I just am so indebted to you, Dr. Cohn. Thank you for being here today.
Wow, that's a lot. Thank you so much, Sarah. You know, first of all, I must say, I love you, what you're doing. I love your family. They've been a part of our Cohn Health Institute, which has been a blessing and so great. And, you know, so if your product, so before we get into anything that I've done, I mean, it all started many, many years ago. I think it was Dr. McCoy, Dr. Christie back in the day that said, oh, you're going to meet Sarah. And like, she is doing it, living it, and leading a charge. And this is many, many years ago. And so it's always been a staple. It's been great to see the evolution. And, you know, it's rising tides lift all ships. I mean, we're all in this together. It's, you know, they say someone told me once, they said it's a small world, you know, but and they go, and someone else told me, no, because there's just a small amount of people doing things. And you're definitely one of those people. We have a clinic shirt. It says hustle has no bedtime. And we're going to have to get you one of those because you hustle and you get it out there. So anyway, I just didn't want to go anywhere further without giving some love, because it's true.
Well, thank you. And you're right. We're in it together, and this world needs people like us because we're just in a toxic soup, and more people are getting sick. But you were one of the OGs looking at alkalinity and acidity. What is that? You know, and then now hydrogen water, everywhere you turn, people are looking at bottles that are thousands of dollars, ones that are $79 off of Amazon, supplements, all of these things. And so I know we could go on for hours, but I really want to pinpoint this water thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I just want us to be drinking water that doesn't have fluoride in it and arsenic and some of these other toxins. And you need water filters. I've got a daughter in Los Angeles at USC, and I'm like, oh my God, they've got the worst water in the country. And she told me that she moved into her house and her roommates are like, oh yeah, that filter that says it needs to be replaced. Yeah, we saw that a year ago. We haven't done anything about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's more important than the food you're eating. So let's dive into water.
Well, I mean, for me, it started many, many years ago, realizing the toxic soup that we're living in decades ago. And, you know, the saying is, if you don't have a filter, you are the filter. And we would do these demonstrations for patients to kind of show them what a big deal it was. And one of the easiest things it was to focus on was chlorine. Chlorine is carcinogenic. It's a volatile organic compound. And so we would show people that their tap water has more chlorine in it on any given day than their pool, their swimming pool, when their swimming pool has been deemed unsafe to swim in because there's too much chlorine in it. So we would do a little test. We would have them bring their tap water in. We would take orthotoluene, the OTO drops, which you would put in the water. And if it turned color, if it turned purple, then you would say that it's unsafe to swim in. And so we would do it to the tap water, and it would be like off the chart. But we would take it to another level to show them that it's more than what they're drinking. It's actually exponentially worse to bathe in it. So we would have a separate water sample from their tap. We would put it in a shot glass. We would have them stick their finger in the shot glass and pull it out within 3 seconds. Then we would put the drops in, and then magically they wouldn't turn any color. It was just clear. And they would say, why is that? And I would say it's because the chlorine got immediately sucked into your skin, into your body, having to be processed through your liver and all these other places, your lymph system, within seconds to really hound that. Because chlorine is really, mustard gas, which was used to kill people in earlier world wars. It's just not concentrated to the level that mustard gas is. So it's designed to kill living organisms, bacteria, which is why it's put in there. But we're big living organisms, and it accumulates over time. It would be like, a bag is put over your loaf of bread to keep it fresh, let's say. And but when you get your bread and you take it home, you actually take it out of the bag. You don't like eat the plastic. You don't bite it through the plastic. That is like drinking your water without filtering it. Mm-hmm. And so, in the education world, they say stories sell, facts tell. People don't remember facts, but they remember stories, bedtime stories. So if we don't do a visual, they're going to miss it. And so that's where it all started. And then after 10 years of educating people on why they should filter their air because their indoor air is worse than their outdoor air, why they should filter their water because of the things you said, like fluoride and chlorine and heavy metals and all the different things that are in the water, and then why they should sub out their personal care products that they put on their hair, their skin, their makeup to non-toxic ones because those things kill them faster than anybody. And then why they should change their cleaning products because the number one reason a child dies prematurely is because they ingested household cleaning products that were like left out. And there are companies that make things that where you can drink it and you'll be fine. So, but then we realized, you know what? There's too many things now. They're dropping things on us from the sky in planes. They're as 4G, 5G, soon to be 6G. There's these silent killers that at the end of the day, like I think you have realized with accelerated products, that if we don't strengthen the host, there's no way we're going to keep up with all the things. You can't filter everything all the time. And you want to live. We're going to eat out at nice restaurants. It could be a 5-star restaurant, but it's not always organic, and we eat those desserts, and sugar and alcohol is a poison, but we're going to do them from time to time, or most people do. And, the saying is we flipped it from beating people over the head about this stuff to realize that, you know what, if you do the crime, you got to do the time, which means if you're going to eat these things or expose yourself to these things, you're going to need to take these certain nutritional products. I mean, you've figured it out with like your this guy right here, which we go through a lot in our clinic, your accelerated cellular detox, this guy, methylene blue. I mean, it just keeps going. This guy, which I took this morning, liver detox. So, you can't, there's a saying called you can't fill a full glass. Mm-hmm. So you can't like scroll through Instagram for 5 seconds without somebody marketing the piss out of something that you should be taking, but do you really need it? If you kind of detox your body regularly and you hit all your systems, your lymphatic system, your, liver and biliary system, your, urinary system, your colon, you're gonna not need that much because your body's really designed to run and put up with a bunch of toxins. So, thousands of nutrition products later at the Cohn Health Institute, as you know, which your stuff is a part of, we realized that we were missing the basics. We were becoming allopathic. We were becoming mechanistic. We had something for everything. And just because it was a natural alternative to a drug doesn't mean we were helping people be healthier. And that's how we landed on the pH world, because it's the simplest test that costs like nothing. I mean, you can get a roll of pH paper and monitor your pH to see how acid or alkaline you are for like $7. That'll last you like months. And it's will give you more information real time about whether you're setting yourself up for cancer, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, because these are all metabolic acid and oxic conditions.
Yeah. I remember when we first met, and you were telling me about the alkaline diet and alkalinity and acidity. And so I started testing my own pH, and it was acidic. And I thought, God, I thought I was healthy. But guess what causes acidity away from all the things that we're talking about is stress. And I was extremely stressed. And so that's something also. So you want to balance that out, and you can use supplements and water and other things to do that. So with the hydrogen, so this is more trendy now. I mean, back 10 years ago, you really didn't hear much about it. You heard a lot about alkaline water, then reverse osmosis water, and now there's, energy enhanced water. But the hydrogen water is something where there are tablets, there are supplements, there's bottles, there's water machines that claim to do it all. Let's run through all of them.
Sure.
What to look for, what is just a gimmick that you're paying for and it's not going to do you any good, versus things that actually work and you can feel, and the benefit of hydrogen. Why are we even looking into it?
Well, I found it serendipitously while looking at the alkaline world. I mean, I kicked my head and said I should have known, because back in school, because pH stands for potential of hydrogen. So hydrogen's got to play a role in it. There's a reason, God created hydrogen as it's the number one molecule in the universe. There's more hydrogen molecules than anything in the whole universe. We just are awakening to try and understand it. The fuel and energy world is realizing they can fuel the planet on hydrogen because it's so readily available. Hydrogen is number one on the periodic table. There's a reason it's number one. And it's the use of it, and there's a medicinal use of it. I found it because selfishly, I was just trying to figure out how to make coffee more alkaline, because I love coffee. Now,
Me too.
after figuring out that, yes, I need to buy better coffee, not just organic, but no mold coffee. I mean, it's a different maker, and how it's processed. We can get a Swiss press kind of situation going on. And, there's so many different, it's a world out there of coffee, if you will. But at the end of the day, it's still acidic. And it gets really acidic really fast. I mean, everyone's had to be stuck in a diner somewhere where they needed coffee, or they're falling asleep and they pulled over to a 7-Eleven, and that thing's been sitting on there for I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And I'm sure it's like a 4 point something pH where, it's like drinking battery acid, but it gets you to the next stop. I just knew that the whole world was going to continue to do it. And whether it was that or it was acidic tea, black teas, that we needed to figure out a way. And, I was inspired to even think about that by some gurus in the space of pH. And so I did a deep dive into it, and I found out there were companies out there that saying they would alkalize coffee, but it would destroy the taste of the coffee. So no one's going to, anybody could put alkaline minerals in their coffee, make it alkaline, and then also make it intolerable to drink.
Yeah.
And then there are other people that didn't kill the taste of coffee, but they weren't making the coffee alkaline. So I threw those out. And then so I figured I had to do it. I had to figure it out. So, I had to go to Europe to meet a scientist and a chemist that was working with molecular hydrogen and trying to get it to where you can drink it throughout dissolved in dissolved in water. And so I'm like, that's it. So we engineered these little tiny tablets that fit right through the hole of your Starbucks cup. Not because I drank Starbucks. I hate it. Sorry, Starbucks. But I'm a coffee snob. But the world drinks things like that, and they're drinking it with the, you know, microplastic lid that they're drinking through, which is a whole nother story. But it fit right through. The problem is for the real coffee snobs who love like a barista to make them nice, pretty leaf, it didn't dissolve all the way. So it made your coffee alkaline, but it looked like somebody spinning your pretty leaf coffee. So I'm like, man, I gotta improve it. When you're into something, you're always trying to make it better. And then we made it. So we went from these effervescent tablets. Now you see this renaissance of the effervescent tablet. It's the same damn thing. There's nothing different than what we're using many years ago that I couldn't wait to move on from. I mean, it was like 14 plus years ago. Now you see every Instagram guru out there harking about these things and saying why theirs is better than everyone else's. The real laughable part is that there's really one guy who's private labeling it for like 60 different companies, who's doing quite well financially doing that. Everyone says their company is different, but if you turn it over and look at the ingredients, they are exactly the same from company to company. Now, why is that? You cannot make the claims, because this guy's had some studies done on his product. You cannot make those claims unless you use the exact product. Otherwise, it's illegal. Some people are still doing that, but don't hate the player, hate the game, right? So that's the reality of what's going on. So that is, like, to me, antiquated, because then we moved on and created it where you could actually ingest it. Because if you know anything about chemistry, you don't need to know anything. You just got to remember, like, junior high school, water is 7.0. It's always trying to get to 7.0. If you put hydrogen in the water, it's as fast as you put it in, as fast as it's trying to get back to 7.0. So you can put a tablet in the water, measure, and say, look, I have 8 parts per million of hydrogen in there. But it's like you better put it in your mouth pretty quick because it's dissipating. And the hydrogen is dissipating because that's what it does. It creates nanobubbles and then poof, just like that, which is where the bubbles come from. So what we realize is there's no better closed container than your mouth. So if you can ingest it, and we had to figure out a way to do that, because you don't want to stick those effervescent tablets in your mouth. They're horrific. They're not designed to do that, and don't do that. So we figured out how to do that. Obviously, that was proprietary, and worked with these scientists. I'm not that smart. I work with these scientists like we're on the shoulders of giants. Yes. To evolve to that. Then we created a chewable version, which was really good. But I always wanted to get this form, which you held up, which is everyone's favorite thing when they were a kid. Now, if you're as old as me, you go, it tastes like a pixie stick. If you're younger than me, you go, it tastes like a Fun Dip. And if you're under 30, you go, it tastes like Nerds. So every generation has their thing. You just tear it open, put it in your mouth, dissolves like a pixie stick. And so it releases molecular hydrogen nanobubbles that cross your blood-brain barrier, that cross your gut barrier. They are smart molecule. Hydrogen's a smart molecule. What does that mean? It means it knows good from bad. So when you load up on antioxidants, those are really good, except your body needs certain oxidation to happen to communicate between cells. And that cell signaling needs to happen. If you overdo it, you do too much, you shut those down. So fire is good and fire is bad. If your house is burning down or there's a forest fire, that's a bad day for you and fire. But if it's cold outside and you have a stove and you want to cook food or make something hot to drink, or you want your pilot light lit, that's a good use of fire. So the smart molecule knows how to bypass the stove, leave it lit, but go put out the forest fire. And so we know these things like these really bad free radicals like peroxynitrate and a hydroxyl radical, which is the worst. Hydrogen will take that hydroxyl radical that's creating all this kind of havoc in your body, leading to all the things that we're scared of getting when we get older, which you're not going to claim, but there's studies out there, and it'll neutralize it by turning it into water. And so that's the beauty of it. The other thing is, it's like your body saturates at a certain point. This is another thing. So people go, more water, more this. Doesn't matter how much is in there. There's a law of like chemistry again and human physiology that you hit a saturation point. You can't keep filling a glass when it's full. But after time your body uses it, so hydrogen is better spaced out throughout the day. So, on average, they say something like this will be releasing molecular hydrogen nanobubbles in your body for like 4 hours, and then you'd want to do it again, So, and that's why people do it throughout the day. The other thing too is that, as you know, in the nutrition world, if you have a product that's an impact product, then it's not if, it's when it's going to be what we call $1 billion product, because meaning like not only do people feel it right away when they take it, but they feel it more when they run out.
Right.
Because then they go right back to where they were. Not that it's not medicinal, but especially when you have, let's say, a pain pattern or discomfort pattern. We're not allowed to use the pain word anymore. So let's call it discomfort or achy, or it hurts when I do this, or it hurts when I squat. So we used to do these demonstrations all the time where I would give a 20 to 30 minute lecture. 5 minutes into it, after we intro, I say, who's hurting? Who has something that won't go away? And we have 5 people stand up, demonstrate what it is. We pass out these guys. And then 15 to 20 minutes later, we circle back towards the end of the talk. And where are people that were bitching about whatever they're bitching about? And then 4 to 5 people completely gone, if not dramatically better. Then everybody goes up to them at the end and asking them if they were a plant or is it real? And because nobody trusts anybody for anything. I get it. And then that's kind of what we've done forever and ever and ever. So it's one of those things that once you do it, you're like, yeah, I love these things. So my goal, like yours, having kids and knowing that nothing's more horrific in your life than, even more than you, when we have health issues, is when our children have health issues. And my mission is to always make products that children are able to take, because as the twig is bent, so grows the tree. If these, I'm going to pick on them for a minute, that the pharma world has figured it out. They figured out to put these pediatricians out there and create something called a well baby visit, where there's nothing having to do with the wellness that happens in that visit except indoctrination into drugs and vaccines.
Yeah.
And, everyone has freedom of choice, but not everybody gets educated. And I believe if everyone was educated, they would make different choices. But, when trillions of dollars are spent to make sure we stay ignorant and not get exposed to things that can change and the trajectory of our children's health, then that's where we have a moral and ethical responsibility. I do, and I believe we all do, to step in and show people that may not be exactly true. And here's another way. So all these products that we make it so the children can use it and change the course of what's possible for them.
You know what I love about what you just said is something like this gives a child, like they're going to say, hey, Mom, I need my H2 Blast because it tastes good, right? But at the same time, they're taking ownership of their health, and then they're going to start recognizing what is health. Oh, I can run faster on the playground. I am thinking better. I'm not jumping out of my seat in the classroom. I might feel better and a little more confident. I've got, my kids are older now, and I'm laughing because they have been spoiled with organic grass-fed meats and supplements just in the cupboard, and it's all free and it's all just there. And my 19-year-old baby is now across the country in college. And she's like, Mom, the cafeteria food is horrific. And she's in a dorm room and there's no kitchen, and she's an athlete, and they are not providing her with anything that is even feasible for her body to eat. And she feels it. She feels inflamed. Her back hurts. She's not herself. And of course, as a mom across the country, it's hard. But at the same time, she didn't realize it when she was younger, because that eating healthy was her norm, but she thrived and didn't have the anxiety or depression or ADHD or other issues that are so rampant now amongst our younger generation. And now she's actually realizing how important her health is, which is doing it a little backwards, but at the same time, she's taking ownership. She's figuring out ways around the system. But it's so unfortunate. You pay so much money to send these kids to college and they can't even get real food. But But back to this.
Yeah.
This is where you have that connection of, oh, tastes good. I actually feel better. I want more. I'm taking control of my health, even away from mom and dad telling me that I need to take my vitamins. And that is just, it's way beyond just the supplement and the benefits. It's what you're teaching your child and the psychology behind taking care of your body. And just like you, the younger generation is a huge passion of mine. So a couple questions about this. When you take it in your mouth, is the hydrogen released in the mouth through the mouth membranes, or is it when it goes down into the gut, or both?
Both. One of the best parts of it is that, we have made hydrogen products too, and we have another form for some people who, for whatever reason, can't or won't or don't take it, especially pets. Like the pet world has done amazing. Back in the day, I created a pet product. We'll probably do it again. They were shaped like little bones. And, but dogs need something specific, and we don't want anything sweetened for the dogs, right? So we have, like, in the clinic, we made a version called H2 Max. We'll probably roll it out under Cohn Nutrition, so you can just open it up, put it in the food. So your gut is where most of it happens. But as you know, there's a lot of wisdom to what grandma used to say. Grandma used to say, chew your food 15 times before you swallow it. One, to make it easier to digest. Two is that we have receptors in our taste buds that send messages to your brain back down to your body about what's coming. It's almost like so that your liver, your kidney, your adrenals have an opportunity to go, ooh, I want some vitamin D. I want some vitamin A. Give me some vitamin C. But if you shove it all down there, or worse, inject it in you, no one knows it's coming. And your body's like, what the F is this? Where did this all come from, right? So when something's in your mouth, your saliva is where it happens to begin with. And especially with these kids with ADD, ADHD, all these different health challenges, they're on the spectrum. To be able to take something like this, enjoy it, and get an effect immediately is tremendous. Now, again, we don't make medical claims. We don't say these are designed to treat anything. No supplement's designed to treat anything. Supplements are designed to do what? Supplement. What does that mean? That means there's a gap between what you're getting in your diet and what you're supposed to be getting in your diet. Some people, if you're running through McDonald's, Taco Bell, and Chick-fil-A, you have a Grand Canyon size gap. If you're eating healthy, your gap is narrow. And so the supplement is designed to fill that gap and bridge it so that your body operates the way it was designed. So that's really what it is. So if we mention any disease or condition, it's just in a way so people can understand the things that they see changing when they feed their body the proper things, because the only reason they have those things is because they're not feeding their body enough of the proper things, or like you spend a lot of time educating people on detoxifying all the shit in there that they get bombarded with daily. So it starts in the mouth, sends messages everywhere. It's already activated, which is why the effects are immediate. And then there's another hit when it gets down to your gut 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes later, depending on the motility of your body.
So if you are a kid and you're like, oh, these are super tasty, I found the bag, I just downed 30 of them. Is there any issue with taking too much?
No, there's no adverse effect. I mean, we've had people and animals. I think my wife, Dr. Christine, is the record holder of when we had them in the tablets back in the day. She basically took a whole bottle in a day, which would be the equivalent to 45 packets. So no, but she felt great that day, and I'll let her tell the story sometime. So the of why she did it, but no, there's absolutely no, because your body saturates and it just off gases like a gas. That's what it is. So no, there's not. I mean, I've taken quite a bit of these. We recommend between 1 and 3 a day. The average person likes, say, 2 or 3. But people who recognizes the athlete. So altitude at both depth and altitude. So the altitude world realizes and knows that there's enough data that should support that altitude sickness is altered. And if you're a climber, like if you're climbing real mountains, you don't do it without molecular hydrogen. The problem is most of these famous climbers are still using old tablets that need water. And, water's great. And a lot of people like to follow their sachet with water. If you just don't need it, right? And so now they can take it with them. It's easier. They're just awakening to it. I had a group of free divers send me a video about the effects. They're able to go deeper and recover faster between dives. They dive for fish, lobster, all that kind of stuff in really big depths, holding their breath for minutes at a time, which is unheard of. And it's been made easier and on their body, and they can go longer with the H2 blast. So that's cool to see. 4 to 5 people will PR in the gym if they've never used hydrogen before, meaning like they'll break their own personal record. So meaning how much they can throw up on the weight, how much they can go on the ropes before they, peter out and get tired, whatever their thing is, their sport. And hydrogen helps drop. I mean, we've done studies on it back in the day where it helps drop lactic acid so that you're not as sore or crampy after. So a lot of personal trainers, when they're onboarding and getting people started, will always flood them with hydrogen. So you had mentioned it before. It all started in the hydrogen world 75 plus years ago with the original studies coming out of Japan for breathing hydrogen gas, which works and is amazing. But those machines are expensive and they're not really portable and they're cumbersome. We have them here at the Cohn Health Institute. It's part of therapies that we do to help manage inflammation in people. And then came hydrogen water, but hydrogen water became serendipitous. Really, it was like the old alkaline water units. Kangen made it big, and they didn't realize, or maybe they did, and they didn't want to change their story, that when you create alkaline water through hydrolysis of those plates, you release molecular hydrogen nanobubbles, but it dissipated really quick. So all those great stories you saw about alkaline water, even though alkalinity is a big thing, was really from the hydrogen. And again, that's when the tablets came, the dissolvable tablets that people still talk about. But I tell anybody, I guarantee it, if you're using a dissolvable tablet, measure something and you use this, it's going to perform better if you use this. Plus, it's more fun and it tastes better.
Exactly. Why do you want to take something that doesn't taste good? It's funny you bring up the altitude. I just was in Idaho. We hiked every day. And I thought, God, I'm really in good shape compared to last time I hiked. And I was taking this before every time we went. And then, of course, I took it a couple other times, not because I knew that I had to take it, but because it tasted good and I wanted to take it. And then, like I said, my son, Jackson, kept saying, well, do I get one? I'm like, nope, I brought these for me. So yeah, I definitely, and then I came home, I get on the rowing machine, and I'm like, oh, this is easier. I'm PRing. My strokes are faster. I'm not breathing as hard. So there might be something to it. I pair it with, with the aminos and, my other supplements in the beginning pre-workout. And I
took mine today. There they are.
It's funny because I'm pretty boring. I don't drink. I eat pretty much the same. So I'm a good test case when introducing new things and very in tune with my body. So I love it. I see these water machines and these water bottles that are $500 that you've got to fill up, and you've got to, you only have so much in them. And this is so portable. This is so easy, and it tastes better. And I love to mix my water with, whatever flavor I want to do, which, is hard to do in a hydrogen water bottle. So I'm super excited. Everyone, you'll be able to, the link will be below in the show notes to get the H2 Blast. And it is part of my daily routine. It is one that has stuck. I try a lot of things and a lot of things go away. And this one's here to stay. So super grateful for you to bring it up or create it. And before we go, what is on the plate? What is coming?
Well, the other product that we have, which is beloved, which I'll talk about really quick, is called Reset. You take it before you go to bed, resets you. It was really designed for the worst health issues, which we can't claim. It is very high alkaline minerals. When your body is, you said in the beginning, stress is your greatest acidifier. And regardless of what we do to ourselves nutritionally, we can stress ourselves into any health condition. And so when you're stressed, your body, you fire your adrenals, you're going to fight or flight, and your body becomes acidic. It has to buffer itself. Now it needs minerals. Minerals are not created by the body. They have to be ingested. So it's going to look for them. So it's going to maybe pull calcium from your bones, magnesium from your heart, potassium from your adrenals. So there's four main minerals that need to be in a carbonate bicarbonate form. Now, this is not like some of your great products where you're getting those actual minerals you need for your health. These are strictly to buffer your acid, to pull you out of the shitter. Nothing. That's really what it does. And so people take it before they go to bed and they go, I sleep like a baby. Actually, I don't even know where that statement came from, because if you've ever had a baby, they very rarely sleep well. So let's say you just sleep well, right? So, and they go, it's the best night's sleep of my life. And people forget that sleep deprivation is the number one form of torture in the world. It's worse than waterboarding. If you want the enemy to talk, just keep them up. So when you're going to sleep at night and you're in that acidic overload, it's like sleeping with the lights on. So reset is like a dimmer switch. The more you take, the dimmer it gets. Allows your body to get up in the morning like it never happened. And the people that make it the most famous are not the ones who designed it for. It's, half of the world is Asian. Half of that population has something called Asian flush or Asian glow, which they have a sip of alcohol. Doesn't matter if it's beer, wine, sake, soju. They have a red flushing reaction. Some, it looks like an allergy. Some get it so bad they get sick and vomit. For many people, they realize, actually most of them, this helps mitigate that, which is a serendipitous finding, as well as the college students already figured out. They call it hangover helper. Yeah. And they say we judge the amount of how fun the night was by how many reset we needed to take to get so we can get up in the morning like we didn't happen and get to our class on time. So we don't market those things anywhere on the website because we're not in the business of promoting alcohol consumption, but it is a fun fact. But what's coming next is the greens, because this whole thing started for me 15 years ago, because I realized, like you said, you were talking about grass-fed meat. Wheatgrass, barley grass, oat grass has everything in it. Land greens did so many great things. I mean, we use sea greens in our office, spirulina from Energy Bits. We love them. But we have a foundation. If you create more oxygen, disease is a hard time growing in the presence of oxygen. And oxygen comes from raw green foods. So, that's what God put on the planet. My first goal, even before finding hydrogen, and the second goal is alkalizing coffee. The first goal is that if I can make wheatgrass and barley grass taste like a Krispy Kreme donut, yeah, without killing it, then we're going to win. And we're going to affect the health of a nation. And that's what we did. We created a greens powder that you could eat right out of the container. It beat everything in on the major healthy box stores in a blind taste test. We crushed it. And we're recreating that and making it better. And I even made the greens in capsules. You can just take them and have them in your system to really alkalize your system. So we have the greens, which are oxygenating as your foundation in the morning with my aminos, and then you have the hydrogen during the day that keeps the inflammation away, and then you reset yourself at night if you decided to do some other things where you needed it. So it's like the trio, as we call it, the alkaline trio or the wellness trio. And so that's really what it's going to be. And then after that, we're going to recreate something I made back in the day that used to be called the shake that tastes like cake, because a lot of times you give everybody right supplements, they're still eating crappy meals. And we wanted something that was, organic and gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, nut-free, nightshade-free, seed oil-free, but actually tasted good, that kids would like. My daughter, when she was like 5, would eat it right out of the container. She thought it was pancake mix. So we're recreating that as well, because there's a lot of great things right now, MCT oil, other things we can put in it to make it even better than we had it before. So that's in the works, and probably Q1 of 2026.
I love it, because it's all stuff that we're going to want to taste and take. And, secretly, I'm a sugar addict. That was my diet when I was younger. My mom always said, she goes, Sarah, when you had a bite of sugar, your eyes would just pop like this and you'd be crawling off the wall. So even though she was not into health, she limited my sugar because I reacted to it. So all of this fun, yummy stuff is bringing me back to my childhood sweet tooth. So I love it. Well, Dr. Cohn, it's always so much fun being with you, and I just love the work you do, and your mission, who you are, what you represent, and the work you do is just beyond. And I'm so grateful for you personally and in business, and for what you're doing for this world. So, will you tell people where they can find you, where they can come to your office and work with you and some of your amazing doctors?
Well, thanks. First of all, I'm sure you're going to put a link up where they can get it and get like save 10%. Thank you for being able to do that. And make sure whatever link you see along with this that you find Cohn Nutrition through that. It's also at cohnnutrition.com, COHN. I don't know if we didn't mention this because this is something forever we're looking to do. COHN are the four elements. That's my last name, but it's also the four elements of all living things, which is carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen. So it just worked out. I think it was inevitable that I eventually was going to find my way to it. The Cohn Health Institute was started 35 years ago in Costa Mesa, California. We're right on the runway of the John Wayne Airport. It's beautiful. People come from around the world to come here. It's kind of like what we call a one-stop doc. We have amazing practitioners, kinesiologists, chiropractors, naturopaths, body workers, acupuncturists, and we have like 30 modalities from around the world that help people accelerate their health. We like that accelerate word, and it's life changing. It is where it all happens. And then for those in other countries watching this, that we can do things remotely as well and help you that way. And then the Biostacking Summit, which you have been an amazing sponsor of, where we say when people come to the clinic, they're going to get better whether they like it or not. If I can't help them, one of our doctors or one of our products or one of our things can help them. And if that can't, we're spidered out in 1,000 clinics and places around the world that do even weirder and more wonderful things than we do. And you're on that list, SaraBanta and Accelerated Products, because a lot of people don't know, but Sara has done an amazing job being a coach and advocate and educator. There's a lot of times there we have had stuck on something. We've sent people to your website or to you, and you've graciously been available to help coach them through your experience of using your products and other products to help get their health back. And so it really does take a village of people to do it. And we showcase people, brands, products around the world. It's going on as we speak, Biostacking Summit 4.0, biostacking.com. Just check it out.
It's amazing, and you have amazing guests and doctors and just a wealth of knowledge. So thank you. Yeah, we will have the link below to buy any of the products, and especially the H2 Blast. And Dr. Cohn, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Sara Banta. Love to the family, and keep crushing it like you're doing it.
Don't you just love Dr. Cohn? And I love everything he's about, everything he's doing. The H2 Blast, just like I said, this is part of my routine. And it goes along with the acceleridine iodine, another amazing molecule on the periodic table that everybody needs for thyroid health, metabolism, detox, anti-inflammatory. And it works really well synergistically with hydrogen. It's part of my morning stack. It's what I start with. I wait 12 minutes. I have my coffee. I have my H2 Blast and my aminos and my liver care and my accelerated fast. And then I go have a bang out workout. And the energy doesn't die. It's steady throughout the day. You are not going to have good energy if your liver's not clean. And the hydrogen, iodine are important for your liver health. But I use the accelerated liver care as that just love to my liver, because our livers are so under attack, especially after the pandemic. The accelerated liver care helps that bile flow to get all the junk out. It's part of my liver cleanse. I'm actually doing it this weekend. It breaks down fats more effectively. Are you on a high fat diet and you get actually nauseous every time you have a fatty meal? That's your liver and your gallbladder saying, I need help. Are you having skin rashes and you are gaining weight out of nowhere? That's your liver saying, I need help. And that's where the accelerated liver care comes in. You can also add in the accelerated thyroid if your metabolism is slowed down, if you're gaining weight out of nowhere, if your hair's falling out, your eyebrows are thinning, your creepy skin is coming out, right? Your nails are thin. That's all thyroid. So the accelerated thyroid helps with your metabolism, restoring thyroid health. It's thyroid glandular, freeze-dried from New Zealand, the best source in the world. But added to it are peptides and ingredients that help nourish the thyroid. So those are just some that work along with some of the supplements that Dr. Cohn was talking about. And it's not just about us adults, it's about our children. We need to give them a fighting chance in this world. Their food supply is not what we grew up with. We didn't necessarily need organic. We didn't need grass-fed because the animals were grass-fed. This world is now fed 70% ultra-processed food. That's not real food. And so our younger generation, they're suffering and they need all the help they can get. So thanks for tuning in today. I hope you got some tools and inspiration to take the next step, and head to SaraBantaHealth.com for my articles. Join the free group coaching. Like Dr. Cohn mentioned, I'm there. I'm there to answer your questions. I post on a daily basis to give you the power back, teach you about your own health so you can, take control of your health and not just hand it to the doctors who give you 15 minutes and really don't know your whole story. You can find the supplements we talked about at acceleratedhealthproducts.com. Use coupon podcast10 for your first order. So you can find me and the podcast everywhere, over 100 different platforms, by searching Accelerated Health with Sara Banta, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, E360, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and over 100 different platforms. Like I mentioned, I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So join me next time for more ways to unlock your health potential.